Uh, so I know everyone is bored by this sentence, but according to the protocol, just with myself in action. So I am Usha. I'm studying here for this animal physiology course. So welcome to the week 11 live session. So we will be discussing the week 11 some questions and answers so that it will be helpful for you to solve the assignments. Okay. So let's start. I will share the screen. So anyone remember what was the topic of week 11? I hope everyone heard the lectures. So anyone, so what was the topic that's taught in this week? Any clue? Okay. So last week, if you remember, we were discussing about the cardiac system, right? So as a continuation, we were saying the heart, it's made up of like the peculiarities of heart, how the heart is able to do the mm, generation of action potential there, about the conduction system there, about the different nodes there, how SI node is working, how that is transmitting, then how the nearby cells called cardiomyocytes are functioning, what is enabling them to make that particular kind of their function. So how the generate action potential varies in them. So all this we have seen, right? And this week and last week we also know that from the heart, so there's a fourth chamber, right auricle, right ventricle, left auricle, left ventricle. From the right ventricle, the carbon dioxide filled blood will go to the lungs and get purified and come back through pulmonary vein, which carry oxygenated blood to the lungs artery, and then it will go to left ventricle, then it go to aorta, and it will distribute to the different parts of the body. So it's about okay, going to lungs, it's getting purified, but how the lungs work, right? So this week we will be seeing how exactly the gas diffusion happens there, what enables the gas diffusion, how it's able to exchange oxygen with CO2 at the particular site. So what is the science behind it? And how even so heart is filling the blood with this much pressure, and why aorta is this much bigger in size, and how aorta is maintained able to withstand that pressure, that high pressure that which receives the blood from the heart is giving blood with such high pressure, and the aorta is withstanding it, how it's able to do its function. So all these things we will be seeing this week. Okay. So first, as we every time we do, we'll go one by one. We'll discuss the main, like the recap of the each session. Then we'll go and discuss some. Okay, let's start. So first was regarding respiratory physiology. Then the second lecture was regarding anatomy and physiology of blood vessels. So that was mainly lecture 2 and lecture 3 was the continuation of lecture 2. Then lecture 4 and lecture 5 was mainly regarding the introduction of some terms, what is the definition, and sir was explaining and giving the definition of each terms. Okay. So, what is respiratory physiology? So we know that we have a nose, and through the nose we take in the air. So the fresh air will go, and there is a long windpipe called trachea. So trachea is encircled by the C-shaped rings, which is called cartilage. So trachea is very bigger in size. Then trachea will enter into two parts, right and left. So because there are two chambers of lungs, and when it enter into sub smaller, like the size it becomes smaller and smaller. So it will enter into, finally it will reach in a sac called alveoli, where the gas exchange takes place. So the finite structure around the alveolus will looks like this, right? So it usually looks like this. I will take the list. Yeah. So usually it looks like this. Here you can see, so around the alveolus, there is a vein carrying deoxygenated blood also. There is the upper part is like the one blood vessel carrying oxygenated blood also. And how the alveoli is able to exchange the blood to the this, because it is due to the difference in the partial pressure of the oxygen and carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is rich in these surrounding veins. That's why carbon dioxide can go from these veins to alveoli and thereby to windpipe and back to the surroundings. And but the oxygen partial pressure is higher in the alveolus, so that's why we are able to exchange the oxygen with the surrounding veins, and then you can deliver the blood to the surrounding vein. Okay, so that's about the basic structural difference. So this is the Sar was explaining the same. And even in tissue also the technique is same, just the partial pressure amount varies. So in tissue what happens in tissue, the byproduct is more in CO2, right? So that's why the CO2 um, from tissue is more, so that will take into the vein and it will go back into the legs. So this process continues. Basic difference is the resulting partial pressure. So there was a activity question. Compare respiration in avian and mammalian species, right? Like, do we breathe? Avians also do breathe. So what is the main specialty? Birds are one of the most efficient respiratory system. Why? We know that birds are able to fly basically, right? Due to their efficient uh, way in their body is designed. So if something on the float, we know that body should be in respiratory system should be that much efficient and the gas amount of volume, everything should be perfectly balanced. Then only the birds will be able to fly. So birds have ears while mammals have nostrils. So the this opening is in our it is called as nostril, but in birds it's known as ears. So birds have air sacs located in front and behind the lungs, while mammals have air sacs within the lungs. So we know our alveolus is inside the lungs, but in birds, if you are looking, it is in front and behind the lungs. It's not inside. So birds inhale and exhale twice for every respiration, whereas mammal inhale and exhale. So that is once only, but in birds that happens twice in each respiration. Mammalian respiratory systems also include a pharynx and a larynx, right? Pharynx is the opening to the esophagus and larynx is the opening to the trachea. Okay, so that is the main physiology part. Then the second was anatomy and physiology of blood vessel. So it was Sarvas telling us more in detail how the veins is different from arteries. So arteries and veins do have three layers: tunica externa, media, and interna. And but in arteries are usually more thicker in size and bigger, and they are more elastic also because they have some additional elastic membranes present in arteries, which is not present in veins. So that's what I said. Depending on where is its position, what is the function, how much pressure it needs to withstand. Depending on that, the designing of the size also changes because force is related with pressure and area, right? That's why. So it's like if you are remembering about all these evolutionary processes and if you are thinking about each minute body, how wonderful it's like everything is designed so perfectly, and that's why we are able to even do the simple function, right? That's arteries are more elastic and thicker because if you are just taking the example of aorta, aorta is just releasing from heart, which is the largest blood vessel. So that much pressure is needs to withstand, right? So that's why it's more thicker than artery and elastic also. So it can so that much area increases, so that will make sure that the pressure is balanced. So that is about artery and vein. Then there was the activity question why lymphatic vessels are present around capillaries. Because these arteries lean on to the wall of the deep lymphatic vessels, putting pressure upon them and helping the flow of the lymph. So, in order to maintain the flow of the helping the flow of lymph, that's why the arteries lean into the wall of the lymphatic vessels, which means the arteries are putting a pressure on these lymphatic vessels, so that will regulate the flow of the lymph. Then again, we have seen the more detailed description of how each part of, like in only not only aorta, then aorta will go into even small artery, then again very small arteries. From that, you will reach capillaries where the diffusion of gases happen. Then the CO2 will go to the veins. So venules are there, then veins are there. So become bigger, bigger, bigger. And when it reaches again to the heart, it will be vena cava, which is bigger in size. So from the heart and to the heart, the blood vessels are very bigger in size. And when it reaches the tissue, the size will be very smaller. Okay, because in tissue we know the like from the heart it needs to withstand that much pressure, but in the tissue like it is traveled a long distance, so pressure definitely will be decreased. So in the tissue there is no in the they doesn't require that much pressure. It will the gas exchange is happening to the diffusion or difference in the partial pressure. So and again when going back in from tissue there is not much pressure, so it needs to be maintained that there is no backflow of blood that is happening in veins. So veins, so that's why vein is designed with the valves in order to prevent the backflow of the blood. Okay. And arteriosclerosis is a condition resultant by the like disorder in the thickening and thinning of the elastic membrane. So that is also a heart disorder. So that is about. So this is the typical structures are drawn, like how the bigger artery, the size again decreases, but again there are three layers. Then it will finally reach like this kind of a structure just with smooth muscle and tunica media. Okay. Um, then we have seen in the fourth fourth week like multiple things related to it. So force is directly proportional to pressure, change in pressure by resistance. F is directly proportional to blood pressure by in with respect to peripheral resistance. So PR means peripheral resistance. Before that, in the that week, we have seen multiple terms related with electrics, especially what is blood flow, what is blood pressure, what is circulatory pressure, what is peripheral resistance, what is total peripheral resistance, and what is translucence. So just go back and make sure that you know, like you don't need to by heart it, just make sure that you understand the basic, what is the definition of everything, right? So then the final week, we have seen how, like the sir explained with a very beautiful graph, what is the difference between the blood diameter after diameter increases. If you are comparing arterioles and veins, venules, vena cavas. So this is the aorta, this is the small arteries, then the arterioles, then capillaries, then venules, then veins, then vena cava, right? So if the size is increasing in this order, we know the bigger one, which the blood vessel which is closer to heart is larger in size, so the graph will be looking like this. And if you are checking the area, so centimeter square, that will be even more in the smaller parts, which is around the capillary that part, and other near to the heart, it will decrease. So total cross-sectional area. And if you are checking the pressure will vary. It will be more in the artery because the heart is giving the blood, so with that much pressure, so the pressure is more in aorta, then small artery, then it decreases. Again, it will start increasing to from veins, venules, veins to vena cava. It will again increase. Like that, we have also seen total cross-sectional area, average blood um, pressure, and the velocity of the blood flow. Right? So all these are related. Pressure and velocity of the blood flow. If you are seeing, it's like almost a similar kind of graph. So just connect like the similar graph and try to remember in that sense. Then it will be easy for you. So these are the different terms that are introduced. So let's go to the question. I will ask one by one question, then we can solve together. Okay. Yeah. Which of the following is not a part of respiratory system? Option A, trachea. Option B, lyrics. Option C, pharynx. Option D, bronchi. Not a part of respiratory system. Choose the following is not part of respiratory system. So how many people answered? Charumati, Kamlesh, Shantipriya, Shivani, Jagrati. Okay, correct answer is lyrics. Why? What is trachea? As we said, it is a windpipe. Then pharynx, larynx. So yes, that is also component. Bronchi is also part of respiratory system. So yes, correct answer is lyrics, which is not a part of respiratory system. So respiratory tract is mainly divided into two parts, upper and lower. So upper respiratory tract include the nose, nasal cavity, and the pharynx. And the lower respiratory tract consists of larynx, trachea, bronchi, and lungs. Okay. So just remember like this most nasal cavity pharynx, which whatever like just this much part above that part, not even this much part. So pharynx is just the ending of the our nasal cavity. Like it will go like this, and pharynx is the structure just above the larynx. So this is like these are two like the flip flop structures. So that to regulate the function together. Then larynx, trachea, bronchi, and lungs are the lower respiratory tract. So trachea is mainly made up of dash, cartilage, ligaments, skeletal muscle, bone. Trachea is mainly made up of dash. Only two people answered. Others, please. Okay. Five people answered. One, two, three, four. Okay. So trachea is mainly made up of, yes, correct answer A. Trachea is mainly made up of cartilage. Hmm. So it's a U-shaped structure and is composed of hyaline cartilage on the anterior and lateral wall with the trachealis smooth muscle forming the posterior border of the trachea. So you should know like which side what is present, right? So anterior and lateral wall is composed of hyaline cartilage and The tracheal is smooth muscle forming the posterior border. So posterior border is formed by the smooth muscle. Dash is also called windpipe and it branches into dash in the lungs. What is called as windpipe and what branches into that branches into dash in the lungs. So trachea, bronchi, trachea, lyrics, pharynx, lyrics. Only three people answered. Hmm. Only three people answered. Just now start, right? I know so many people were late, so they missed the introduction part. It's fine. Discuss, then we will discuss it. Yeah, so windpipe is the trachea, and trachea divides into smaller parts called bronchi again divides to bronchioles, which end up with alveoli. So correct answer is A. Correct answer is yes. Everyone is right. Right? Trachea is the conducting airway system. So after the larynx, it will suddenly start the trachea connected to cricothyroid cartilage by the cricotracheal ligament, followed by series of 16 to 20 hyaline cartilage rings. Each is individually connected by an annular ligament and terminates at the carina T5 level posteriorly, sternal angle anteriorly, then splits into the right and left main bronchi. So correct answer is A. This is the just structural detail, and sometimes we can see in the picture, we can see like C6, C5, these kind of markings. So we don't know what is. So C611 means cricothyroid cartilage is connected by and then after cricothyroid cartilage in the trachea, we can see 16 to 20 hyaline cartilage. Then which will terminate at carina, which is a T5 level posteriorly, sternal angle anteriorly. Then it will end in bronchi. So cardiovascular system is a dash. Open closed loop. Option B, closed loop system. Option C, both A and B. Based on the temperature of the body. Option D, none of them. What happened to everyone? It's a very simple question. We have discussed it from the last, not even the last. Maybe I think in plus 1 syllabus onwards we know this answer. It is too simple. That's why everyone is not answering. So three people answered. I will wait till for 1 more minute, 6:31. Then I will discuss the answer. Yeah. So 6:31. Yes, correct is option B, closed loop system. Why it is closed loop system? Because it is everything is closed in particular vessels, right? It's not open to like in insects. Everything is tightly, blood is flowing inside particular vessels. So the blood in the system does not leave. It starts at the heart, travels in the body, and comes back to the heart through the vessels. So there is no open. So that and there is no open ending. So start from the heart, ending at the heart. Right? It's a closed loop. If you're checking the starting point and ending point, so it's a closed loop. Dash carry blood from the heart to the body, and dash carry blood from the body back to the heart. Arteries, veins. This we clearly understand in the last week also when we studied about the heart. Easy question. Come on. Yes, only three people answered. Yes, correct answer is four people answered. Yes, correct answer is so artery carry blood from the heart to the body and from the different parts of the body. Veins will carry the blood from body back to the heart. So correct answer is option B. Good. I don't think there is any explanation needed for this. Right? We have seen the last week. Which of the following is not a layer or component of an artery? Uh, tunica intia, tunica media, tunica externa, basement membrane, which is not a part of artery. That is the question. Read option carefully, then answer. Okay, everyone is saying basement membrane is not a part of artery, isn't it? And all others are part of artery. Artery will feel sad, okay. The one part that artery have is not a part and you are making which is not a part as a part of the artery. It's fine. We'll discuss. So these are like the easiest confusing question, right? Actually, the answer is there. So what is the external layer that layer spelling? Is it INTIA or something else? Yeah, so let's see. Correct answer is A is not the part because it has different part of the layers. First layer is known as tunica intima. The spelling is INTIMA. It is not INTIA. So they have just removed one M and we fall directly into the trap. Right? So be careful with the spelling of the text. Second layer is known as tunica media or the middle layer. And last layer or outermost layer is known as external or tunica adventitia. So in most blood vessel, basement membrane predominates and underline the endothelial lining of the vessel, encasing pericyte and perivascular cells and ensheath each individual smooth muscle cell of arteries and arteries. So basement membrane is part of most of the blood vessel. Okay. So this is not a part. Correct answer is option A. Veins are dashed than arteries, more elastic and thicker, more elastic and thinner, less elastic and thicker, less elastic and thinner. What is the correct answer? Vein. Hmm. So only two people answered for this three. Yes, correct answer is veins are less elastic and thinner than arteries, or arteries are more thick and more elastic than veins. Arteries are bigger as well as elastic. Veins are thinner and less elastic. So correct answer is B. Okay. Like the artery, it also has the tunica externa, tunica media, and tunica intima. But one difference is the pressure is very low in the uh, artery, very low in the veins. So veins are it doesn't needs to withstand that much pressure. So if it does not withstand that much pressure, that's why the size is thinner. Thickening is it's not thickened, it's thinner and it's less elastic. So the pressure is low and this mixture permits the veins to hold a very high percentage. So if you are comparing the volume of blood will is always higher in veins than arteries. Why? Because of the same nature. The vein is less elastic as well as thinner. So now I know who all are listening to the class. At any given point, arteries hold dash veins. Less blood than veins, same amount of blood as more blood than none of the above. Just now I said the answer to this. Due to its nature, it can blah blah blah. Blah. I don't know. I mentioned the answer 2 seconds before. Not 3, 4 seconds before. Yeah, so everyone, it's fine if it's wrong also. Okay, then I'll start trying. I said it's fine, but I will feel sad because just now I said arteries are thicker and the pressure is high, so they are thicker, they are higher elastic. But veins are thinner as well as less elastic. That's why they can hold more blood volume than arteries. That's what I said, right? Which means veins can hold more blood volume. So here the question is arteries hold lesser blood volume compared to veins. Always veins can come like the blood volume will be the capacity will be more will be in veins only due to its nature. Because artery is already taking a lot of space for its thicker. So there is if it's, we are checking the volume wise, it's lesser in artery. And the same thing, the blood volume wise, since the thinner nature of veins, that's why veins can carry a lot. So veins can carry more blood than arteries, so the arteries can carry lesser blood than veins. Okay, everyone understand, or should I repeat again? Yes or no? Thank you. So I'm going to the next question then. So correct answer is option A, not the option C. Okay. So there is a term for this. Veins can accommodate a larger volume of blood at relatively low pressure. That is termed as high capacitance. At any point in time, nearly three-fourths of the circulating blood volume is contained in the venous system. Degradation in DASH mostly leads to increase in DASH with age. So when we get older, our something get degraded. That's why uh, so something happens to arteries. What is degrading? What will happen with age? Fill in the lines. So it's fine. Just because I said I will be sadder, please something to answer. Then I will be more sadder if I'm seeing no one is answering. Thank you, Kamlesh sir. Only one person answered. Okay. Thank you, Charumati. There are 10 people except me. Only two people answered. Okay. Then it's that, but it's fine. So this is the answer. Correct answer is option B. So elastin will be degraded, and if elastin is degrading, which means there will be arteries will be more stiffer. It won't be if there is more elastin, which means its elastic property will be higher, like a rubber sheet, right? So since it's elastin is there, that's why it's like it's elastable. With a rubber band, we are like the shear stress, these things we have learned in plus one, plus two, right? So if the elastic property is getting, if elastin is not there, it won't be elastic anymore. So that will be, it will lead to stiffness of the muscle. That's why in older people it takes more time to, so if, when they want to, like, they just, if they're sitting in a chair, if they want to get up, it will eventually start taking more time because their muscles are no more elastic. It is stiff. So elastic fibers have an extremely low turnover rate in vivo, and this longevity allows for the accumulation of age-related changes caused by fragmentation, calcification, and MMP degradation. As elastic fibers decay, they lose functionality and shift load bearing onto stiffer collagen fibers, which directly contributes to significant increase in arterial stiffness. Okay. Anita? Yeah. So, oxidation state of iron in hemoglobin. That is the oxidation state of iron in hemoglobin. So, people answered. Thank you. Yeah, so oxidation state is +2 in hemoglobin. Why? That was the answer. So, what is hemoglobin? Hemoglobin, as we all know, is a globular protein and it consists of a very long chain of polypeptide chains, which is formed into coaxial chain. So mainly hemoglobin consists of four subunits, which each subunit contains each heme group separately. And this heme group is located in a pocket within each subunit, and this heme group can bind with oxygen. So heme group consists of heme group is attached to iron, we said already. No, heme group is can bind with oxygen, we said. So the center of heme group is the iron, right? And iron and a porphyrin molecule. The porphyrin molecule consists of a planar ring structure with nitrogen atoms at the corners, forming a coordination complex with the iron in the center. So iron in the heme group can exist in three different oxidation states. So it can either exist in Fe2 plus and Fe3 plus. But but we are coming to the point. It can exist, but normally when it combines, hemoglobin combines with oxygen, it is normally at the oxidation state of +2. So correct answer is B only. Okay. So in the oxygenated state, iron hemoglobin exists in +2 oxidation state. When oxygen binds to the iron atom, it forms a coordination bond, resulting in the formation of oxyhemoglobin. In this state, iron is coordinated to the oxygen molecule, stabilizing the oxygen and allowing it to be transported throughout the body. Then when so now oxyhemoglobin is there, and when blood wanted to release it to the tissue, what will happen? So whenever hemoglobin comes into contact with oxygen in the lungs, iron in that group undergoes a change in oxidation state from +2 to +3. So when it's only happened, +3 oxidation can be seen only in the lungs part. So that time it needs to be released, right? So that time only the oxidation state will change to +3. So this oxidation state change facilitates the binding of oxygen. That's why iron is able to, or heme group is able to bind with oxygens there due to the +3 state. Forming oxyhemoglobin then travel through bloodstream, delivering oxygen to tissues. So tissues also we can see its oxidation state is +2. Only in the lungs we can see oxidation state as +3. Okay, so normally if you are asking oxidation state of iron in hemoglobin is +2. The answer is option B. So next question. At higher vascular pressure, individual capillaries dash and acquire dash cross-sectional area. Higher pressure. What happens? Simply we can think like high vascular pressure means just think about the blood vessel closer to the heart part. Right? They are definitely the higher pressure. So what is their nature? Yeah. Let's see what is the correct answer. This correct answer is wide and larger. So what is vascular pressure? The definition you should remember. But it's easy to remember in this way because aorta is at the higher pressure. Aorta is always larger, and aorta is always a higher sectional area also, right? So we can remember by that way. But the question was regarding the capillaries. Okay, what will happen to capillaries in higher vascular pressure? So while measuring blood pressure, 120 mm Hg is dash and 80 mm Hg is dash. Question is simple. What denotes systolic pressure and what denotes diastolic pressure? Yes, correct answer is option B. Systolic means it's the contraction time, so the pressure will be higher, which means 120 will be systolic, and the relaxation time is the diastole, so 80 mmHg is lesser one, so comparatively that is the diastolic pressure. So correct answer is option B, right? So systolic means contraction of ventricle, and diastolic means just prior to next contraction, relaxing. Which of the following relation is correct to blood flow in circulatory system? Is F is volume of blood flowing, V is the velocity, and A is the cross-sectional area. What is the correct relation? What is the correct relation? Velocity, force, and area. This is confusing us. So let's discuss the answer. Correct answer is C. Okay. So this is correct equation. F is equal to, so V is equal to F by A, otherwise F is equal to V into. So just remember this equation like that only. Okay. Because our velocity increases, we know the force will increase. And so if there is a very larger area with the same force, what happens? That velocity will increase because there is a large area, so it will go into every part, right? And if there is a smaller area, means so if it's coming with the same force, it will move faster. So either way you can remember. So correct answer is C. V is equal to F by A. Or F is equal to V into A. Which of the following is not a vasoconstrictor? I know we have not discussed this question. Yeah, but uh, just to guess anything, we will discuss anyway. So what are the vasoconstrictor? What are vasostimulator? There are different types of compounds are vasoconstrictor, and there are different types of compounds are vasostimulator. So whenever there's a heart attack and all, if the vessels are constricted, we need to remove the clotting, right? So depending on the condition, we'll provide what we require. Just guess any option, then we discuss. Okay. The thing is A or B. Let's see. Correct answer is A. Beta adrenergic agonist. So first see what is vasoconstriction. It's the narrowing of blood vessel. Constriction means narrowing down, right? So vasoconstrictor means which can narrow down the blood vessel resulting from contraction of the muscular wall of vessel, in particular the large arteries and small arterioles. The process is the opposite of vasodilation. So vasoconstrictor, vasodilator is there. That is just the opposite. It can enhance the blood vessel. So, which will lead to widening of the blood vessel. The process is particularly important in controlling hemorrhage and reducing acute blood loss. Right. So, if there is some flat comes and stops the area of or the blood flow, then that time we need to Some give some vasodilators so that the blood vessel may increase or widens and wetens. So the vasodilators in so beta glucan adrenergic agonist uh, is a vasodilator. All the other three are vasoconstrictors, which means if you are giving thromboxane, norepinephrine, or alpha adrenergic agonist, thus will constrict the blood vessel. And if you are giving beta adrenergic agonist along with antihistamine or amphetamines of stimulants, then that can uh, increase the blood vessels area or widen the blood vessel. Option B is vasodilators, not a vasoconstrictor. The test is okay, but is it a cancer? Human has different kinds of pretty much three but use controlling physiological process. You have tried this in the first week. Your body's respiration is under the control of three boats in the complex, a cluster of neurons in the brainstem. Here, a situation is described. Read the problem carefully and guess X. So, situation is this: at low concentration, X is a respiratory stimulant. Still, when it is effective partial pressure increases, its inside the general adaptation syndrome, and at the great enough concentration, it will cause the collapse of the individual. When the inspired air at atmospheric pressure contains 3% X, the respiration becomes rapid and shallow. With headache 6%, there is the improvement of the efficiency and judgment with respiratory distress. If it's 9 or above, then there is a loss of consciousness with ensuing coma and death if prolonged. So among oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and water vapor, what is X? That is the question. Means if it is too much, that is very problematic. If it slightly increases, then it's slight problem. If it again increases, then there is again some more problem. If it increases too much, there is definitely problem. So what is that gas? Is it oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, or water vapor? Now the option it's easy to pick up, I guess. Why everyone is tired of question? Nobody is saying anything. Hello, is everyone here? Or everyone sleeping? Thank you, Jagriti. Thank you, Shanditya. Thanks, Sarumati. Please note. Oh, thank you, Shivani. So I'm going to say the answer. Correct answer is option C, carbon dioxide. Because if you are carbon dioxide is the byproduct of our cells, right? If we are breathing in an environment where too much carbon dioxide is there, our hemoglobin has like affinity for oxygen and carbon dioxide. If that is too much with carbon monoxide, but still it has affinity with carbon dioxide. So if your partial pressure changes, so total diffusion process will changes, right? So if it becomes 3%, then the respiration becomes means we are not getting enough oxygen. So when we, if we are not getting enough oxygen, our respiration becomes rapid and shallow, definitely. That means we are in an environment with high carbon dioxide. And if it is 6%, which means like there is a respiratory distress. We cannot do anything, efficiency, judgment, everything gets affected because our cells are not getting enough oxygen. So our pre-Pottinger complex cannot determine okay what is happening. Cells are like confused. Oh, because they want oxygen. We are an aerobic organism, right? And 9% and above, there's a loss of consciousness. Yes, we cannot even know what is happening. We will be unconscious. And if it prolong for some more time, it can lead to coma. And if it prolong for some more time, then we are dying. So correct answer is carbon dioxide. Okay. Yeah. So last question. I think last question. Last time I said last question for last four question. One of the last question. Sweating, panting, and saliva spreading the helps in sweating, panting, and the saliva spreading helps in dash. When we do this, go back to our first class. Homeostasis. Thank you. Only Kamlesh sir answered. Raghavini, Shivani. So this we have discussed multiple times in the first week, right? All these things are part of thermoregulation. The answer is option B. I shall do one of the last things. So I will tell some more time, maybe one of the last question, then I will finally sought permission to stop blood loss on voting by activation of voting factor is an exam loss. Again, go back to first week, but now we know what happens in blood clotting. So what was the feedback and is it useful or it's not useful? It's vicious. What is the correct answer? Blood clotting. It's not in negative feedback or positive feedback. Something comes, then again more things comes or lesser things comes. Mm, should we start with the homeostasis again? Now we are at the, we have covered lot of organ system. Come on. Cardiac system, respiratory system, nervous system, integumentary system, circulatory system, respiratory system, skeletal system, muscle system. Correct answer is option B. That happens in blood fluid. So whenever that initiation happens, then more and more the clot will be formed due to the more fibers, more collagen. So there's a lot of correct process happens. So after the first initiation, lot of factors are coming. So if the more and more is coming, that is positive feedback, right? Positive feedback in a useful form. Thermoregulation is the negative feedback and all our endocrine system. If more glucose is there, insulin will take up glucose. That is also that's the negative feedback. But blood flow is positive feedback. Giving birth, oxytocin, contraction, that is a positive feedback. Right? So correct answer is option D. It's a positive feedback. But it's fine. We have seen that in the first sitting. So everyone got that. Even I also got it. So again, one of the last question. Last question, last. Lie detection is based on assumption that when an individual experiences apprehension, fear, or emotional excitement, so hair respiration rate increases, blood pressure increases. galvanic skin resistance sharply increase. So A is not true, B is not true, C is not true, A, B, C is true. Last week also we have seen a bigger question, right? So that time also I gave it clue. In this kind of condition, maybe most possibility candidates when a person arrives, what can happen? Yeah, the answer is every option is true. Option D. Our rating, respiratory rate increases, blood pressure increases, galvanic skin resistance sharply increases. So lie detector is basically based on all these
Ma'am,
three. Yes,
ma'am, what is galvanic skin?
actually I don't know. I can check and tell you. Let me check. Okay. So galvanic skin response is a electrical property change due to emotional arousal or stress. That is also known as electrodermal activity or skin conductance and electrodermal resistance response or psychogalvanic resonance. So just when skin is connected with the electrical electrodes, so depending what is happening with the skin, so how it is reacting to that electricity. So if there is stress, right? If you are in stress, which means the stress resistance increases. So if you are lying, definitely we are in stress or we think. So that even we can expect. Okay. So let me see, is it the last question or one of the last questions? Oh, that was the last question. That was not one of the last question, that was the last question. Okay. So next week will be our final week, right? Week 12. No, but there will be an extra session. If you guys are interested, you can join. In that session, I will be discussing every session some questions. So you can remain back and go back and study and write the exam very nicely. Okay. Much. Okay, then bye for today. See you next Friday. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank
mom.
you.